Happy New Year! Welcome back to our show, Light on America. And if this is your first time joining us, I'm Pat Mycone, president of the Republican Club of Laguna Woods, and I'm here with our co-host, Vice President of Programs, Ro Kendall. With each show, we strive to present the truth surrounding key issues of the day in order to dispel the mis- and disinformation being put forth in the mainstream media. Facts which you may not be learning from your usual media resources. As we enter into this 2024 election year, I dare say for myself and most Americans, we believe that this will be the most crucial and the most defining election in our history. What's at stake? Well, we believe everything is at stake. Everything we have forged in our nation over the past 248 years. Yes, our nation is on the precipice where the freedoms that our founding fathers years ago enshrined in our U.S. Constitution may be forever taken from us. For this month's show, we feel it's important to focus on the upcoming presidential primary election, where we will all be casting our vote on who will be running for president November 2024. We will also have the opportunity to vote for many of our local America First conservative Republican representatives who will be actually voted on March 5th. It is a fact that our Republican frontrunner is former President Donald J. Trump. And while day to day his standing in the race may fluctuate, he currently has a double-digit lead over other Republican candidates. In the race for November 2024, support for re-electing Joe Biden has faded in the past month, and his approval rating among Democrats as of this taping is about 37%, the lowest ever. Given this fact and the fact that the other Republican candidates in the race have been in the spotlight for the past few months in actually 4 debates, we have decided to focus on our Republican Party frontrunner, Donald J. Trump, and specifically on his plans for restoring America to a constitutional republic. It's called his Agenda 47. The latest Rasmussen National Telephone and Online Survey finds that in a two-way contest between Biden and Trump, 48% of likely U.S. voters would choose Trump, and 38% would vote for Biden. Another 10% say that they would vote for some other candidate, and 4% are undecided. As of Monday, December 11th, there is a growing list of prominent Republicans who have endorsed Trump. Currently, 7 governors, 17 senators, and more than 80 House members have announced that they are backing President Trump in 2024 or express support for his bid. The list includes all the prominent Republicans, and the source is listed in our credits at the end of the show. With our limited time, we'd like to share some of the key issues we believe may be keeping us up at night, and thus share President Trump's plans and promises in his Agenda 47 that will provide solutions to restore our republic. We hope these facts will assist you in making your choice for your Republican presidential candidate at the ballot box on March 5th. Now, let's hear from Ro to tell us more.
Hello, I'm so glad to be back with you. Yes, we sure are in for the fight of our lives to keep our sovereign nation a constitutional republic. This is President Trump's mission statement for the Make America Great Again movement, the movement that places America first. We have been witnessing the thousands of supporters attending President Trump's rallies around the country since 2021, and most recently, they were seen in New Hampshire and in the Iowa caucuses, and these are 2 bellwether events. It is apparent from both polling and the enthusiastic attendance at his rallies that many Americans are supporting President Trump as our party's forerunner candidate. He is believed to be, and it is stated, that he is the only one who's able to turn this ship around, to coin the phrase, for he and his administration and policies have already accomplished so much in his first 4 years. And yes, despite the baseless lawfare threats to his personal freedoms on so many fronts, he is still willing and is selflessly committed to do it again. This is his mission statement to hold as his promises. Quote, "The American way of life is under attack while career politicians destroy our economy and sabotage our nation's incredible potential. We will take our country back from the corrupt Washington establishment and return power to the American people where it belongs. We will achieve a future of prosperity, security, and peace, creating once again the greatest economy in the history of the world, defending our borders, restoring energy independence, and leading with strength and pride on the world stage. It is time to put America first once more and usher in a glorious new era of faith, family, and freedom. Together, we will save lives, save jobs, and save America. Join me in our unstoppable mission to make America great again." End quote. President Trump's vision for America's economic revival is lower taxes, bigger paychecks, and more jobs for American workers. All of these promises will ensure economic prosperity for all ideas, bold ambitions, and daring dreams. As we always love to hear him say to us, "They're not after me, they're after you, and I'm just standing in the way." We also love his promise, "I'll never stop fighting for you." So here's Pat to begin telling us and listing for us defining some of the key issues and his plan to provide solutions and restore our republic.
Number one on his agenda is the Trump administration will rebuild the greatest economy in history. President Donald J. Trump passed record-setting tax relief for the middle class, and his policies doubled the child tax credit and slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration has ever done before. Real wages quickly increased as a result, and median household income reached the highest level in the history of our country, while poverty reached a record low. President Trump created nearly 9,000 opportunity zones to revitalize neglected communities, and his administration produced a booming economic recovery and record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and women. Joe Biden's policies destroyed American jobs and continues to fuel runaway inflation with reckless big government spending. Bidenomics has been failing Americans for the past 3 years, especially for the lower and middle class Americans. A recent article in Fortune stated this: Biden says his economic philosophy is the opposite of a Republican approach. He sees the government as using the tax code in a more targeted fashion. But to Republicans, Bidenomics is a slur they can deploy. It is a philosophy of government spending and anti-oil policies that they say fueled a spike inflation last summer to a 4-decade high. High prices have left U.S. adults deeply pessimistic about the economy, with just 34% approving of Biden's leadership on the issue. This is according to a new poll from the Associated Press, the Nork Center Public Affairs.
Number 2, a Trump administration will secure free, honest, and lawful elections. President Trump is committed to honesty in our elections and the integrity of our republic. He will reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. We will pass a bold range of critical election integrity measures that include banning unsecured drop boxes and ballot harvesting. State and local officials cannot be permitted to make illegal and unconstitutional changes to election procedures without the required approvals by the state legislatures. Very importantly, we must ban private money from pouring into local election offices. As we head into this presidential primary election, your Republican Club will continue to provide opportunities for voter registration around our village in January. Remember, you can only vote as a Republican in the presidential primary. If you are currently registered as an independent, you need to register as a Republican. By January 25th, you can register back to independent after the primary to vote your preference in November of 2024. You can also call our voter registration chair, Robert Lindner, and his phone number will be at the credits at the end, or you can go to www.ocvote.gov to check on your registration to be assured you're registered Republican to vote in the March 5th primary. The GOP has alerted us to the fact that the DMV has been changing Republican voters to no party preference voters when they go in to renew their driver's license. Please check your registration today to be sure it is correct, so that everyone who chooses and wishes to vote Republican will have their vote count in this way, and it's a very important primary.
Number 3 on Trump's agenda will be his administration will unleash energy dominance. Under President Donald J. Trump's leadership, the United States became the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on Earth, achieving American energy independence and delivering historically low costs for oil, gas, and diesel, and electricity to consumers and businesses. President Trump unlocked our country's God-given abundance of oil, natural gas, and clean coal. He approved the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines, opening federal lands and offshore areas for responsible oil and gas production, and ending the unfair and costly Paris Climate Accord. Joe Biden reversed the Trump energy revolution and is now enriching foreign adversaries abroad. President Trump will unleash the production of domestic energy resources, reduce the soaring prices of gasoline, diesel, and natural gas, promote energy security for our friends across the world, and eliminate the socialist Green New Deal. He will also ensure that the United States is never again at the mercy of a foreign supplier of energy. Yes, we remember well on day 1 of his administration, Biden canceled the Keystone Pipeline, which promised to usher in American energy independence and a secure road to prosperity for all Americans. At the recent rally in New Hampshire, a patriot shouted out, "Green New Scam," and President Trump liked it. So we may be seeing that in the near future.
Number 4, a Trump administration will end censorship and reclaim free speech. President Trump is absolutely committed to dismantling and destroying the left-wing censorship regime. If we don't have free speech in America, then we will no longer be a free country. President Trump's plans include firing any federal bureaucrat who has engaged in censoring the lawful speech of American citizens. He will ban taxpayer funds from being used to categorize lawful speech for purposes of illicit censorship, banning federal agencies from censoring speech. He will stop federal funding for all nonprofits and academic programs engaged in censorship. He will pass a digital Bill of Rights and enact landmark legislation to drastically limit the ability of big social media platforms to restrict free speech. By restoring free speech, we will begin to reclaim our democracy. Remember, from our show in December, we had Greg Bosslog from the On Target range, and he reminded us that our Second Amendment rights protect our First Amendment rights.
Number 5 on Trump's agenda, a Trump administration will secure borders and reclaim national sovereignty. President Donald J. Trump created the most secure border in United States history. He ended catch and release, took down human traffickers, deported record numbers of illegal aliens, gang members, and he built 450 miles of a powerful new wall. Joe Biden turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens when he suspended all immigration enforcement in the middle of a global pandemic, and he reversed landmark agreements that safely returned asylum seekers to Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. The onslaught of illegal aliens invading our wide-open borders threatens public safety, the Treasury, undermines U.S. workers, and burdens schools and hospitals, basically burdening our communities. President Trump will shut down Biden's border disaster. He will end catch and release, restore remain in Mexico, and eliminate asylum fraud. In cooperative states, President Trump will deputize the National Guard and local law enforcement to assist with the rapidly moving illegal alien gang members and criminals. He will also deliver a merit-based immigration system that protects American labor and promotes American values.
Number 6, a Trump administration will stop crime and restore safety. There is no higher priority than quickly restoring law and order and public safety in America. President Trump stands with the heroes of law enforcement. Joe Biden and the radical left politicians have defunded, defamed, and dismantled police forces across America. Murders have spiked to all-time highs in Democrat-run cities, and radical prosecutors and district attorneys have been given free rein to violent criminals who threaten our citizens. The streets of our once great cities are now controlled by gangs and cartels and plagued with mentally ill and drug-addicted homeless. President Trump will revitalize police departments and reclaim safety, dignity, and peace for law-abiding Americans. He will deliver record funding to hire and retrain police officers, strengthen qualified immunity and other protections for police officers, and increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement. He will put violent offenders and career criminals behind bars and surge the number of federal prosecutors and the National Guard into high crime communities.
Number 7 on Trump's agenda will be a Trump administration will defend law and liberty. President Donald J. Trump appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret the Constitution as written and preserve the extraordinary vision of our founding fathers. He confirmed 3 strong constitutionalists to the U.S. Supreme Court who will ensure the laws is upheld equally, fairly, and without political prejudice for all of our citizens. President Trump's 3 appointees delivered the biggest win for life in a generation in overturning Roe v. Wade, and they expanded the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. President Trump will continue to nominate highly qualified prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in enforcing the law, not their own political agenda. He will always defend our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms and uphold your religious liberty, including the constitutional right to pray in public schools. We must end this era of lawfare in our country by radical left judges and prosecutors, lawfare which threatens to bankrupt law-abiding citizens' wealth and their well-being. As we tape this show, the Supreme Court will be hearing the January 6th case that could upend more than 330 criminal cases and strike down the most potent weapon in the Department of Justice arsenal against January 6 protesters.
Number 8, a Trump administration will renew American strength and leadership. President Donald J. Trump replaced the failed policy of never-ending wars and the regime change and nation building with a bold vision to pursue peace through strength. He fully rebuilt the American military might, modernized our nuclear arsenal, and launched the Space Force. He obliterated 100% of the ISIS caliphate, killed its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi, and eliminated the world's #1 terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. President Trump kept Americans out of new wars and brought thousands of brave troops home from Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, and many other countries. Joe Biden has undermined our military readiness and surrendered our strength to the Taliban, as we are experiencing now, and also to Iran, China, and Russia. President Trump will defend America against all threats, protect America against all dangers, and keep America out of unnecessary foreign wars. He will also get Biden's radical left ideology out of our military and rehire every patriot who was unjustly fired. And to protect our people from the threat of nuclear weapons and hypersonic missiles, President Trump will also build a state-of-the-art, next-generation missile defense shield.
We have many more of President Trump's plans and promises to share. However, we are out of time for this show. Please tune in next month in February, where we will highlight and unpack more of President Trump's plans and promises for his second term of office, Agenda 47. Please see the credits and go down to www.donaldjtrump.com to see his full Agenda 47. So in parting, make sure you're registered to vote Republican in this presidential primary. If you are an independent, a libertarian, Green Party, or other who wishes to vote in the primary election, we encourage you highly to make sure you're registered to vote Republican. After the primary election, you are able to switch back to your party preference. We still recommend in-person voting as the most secure.
That's all for now. We look forward to seeing you in February. Meantime, keep the faith and remember his promises at the end of his 2017 inaugural address. It'll be sourced in our credits, but it goes like this, quote, "We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. And we will make America safe again. And yes, we will make America great again." Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you, God bless America. And the source of that is President Trump's inaugural address.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Happy New Year. Make it a great one.